Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Yahweh made it your name for Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai be named for His only begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honor to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone, and taught us truth and will well. And salutation for that person's truth and honesty and sincerity. It's Brother Yahweh Sab, because you know, Spirit Power Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And this lesson's going through the Spirit. Just got back from the campgrounds, and bros had a lot of spiritual conversations. It was very edifying. Ultimately it was about building each other up in the times to come, and accepting this path that the Lord ordained us to be in. And one of the spiritual things that stood out before we had to leave was we were getting packed up and things like that. And so all of a sudden, a swarm of wasps came all over the picnic table area and was like getting all over the food and kept flying on us. But it was like they were swarming, but none of us got stung. We were swatting at them, hit them. We stepped on one of them, but they were just chilling out there, and they kept following us everywhere. Kept getting on our clothes, and I thought for sure like we were getting attacked, and we were gonna get stung. But these wasps that looked like the ones you see on the screen just kept coming everywhere and kept coming in and kept coming, and it was a real getting really irritating, man. And it was weird because we didn't have anything sweet out there, like usually if you got sugar or soda, a can of soda or something like that, it'll attract these things, and they gravitate towards something sweet. And we didn't really have nothing out there besides, some beef patties, steaks and things like that from cooking. And, they were getting on stuff like that, but it was kind of a nuisance, and they gradually just increased. More and more of them kept coming. And one of the things it reminded me of was when I first got woken up to being an Israelite. And when I first came into this truth. And when you first come into the truth, you learn about what books that you're supposed to read. And number one is the scriptures. And you quickly learn that, Esau Edom ripped out 18 books out the Bible. And we got those books back. And they're called the Apocrypha. So long story short, I first bought my first Apocrypha, right? I had it delivered. Or I might have picked it up at Barnes & Nobles, but I just got it. And I set it on my nightstand at the time, and I was in a house, and normally we kept all the doors shut and all that. I didn't have anything open, but my first time to picking up the book to get ready to open it and read it after discovering that I was an Israelite, as soon as I pick it up, in between the books was this wasp that like you see on the screen. And it scared the crap out of me, man, because it was huge. It was a really big, mean looking wasp, man. That thing looked vicious. I was freaking out, man, because I didn't know, how the hell this thing got in there, and why was it sitting on my new Bibles I had just purchased of all places, and in between the Bibles before I even first opened up to look at it, and all of a sudden this giant wasp flies out. So I looked it up back then, and it didn't really have a lot of information on it. But after experiencing all the wasps at camp and the conversations we were having, and why these wasps kept coming around us, but they didn't sting us. It was like they were kind of friendly, but they were annoying. But they couldn't stop getting and crawling all over us. Kept flying on our face, but they didn't sting us, man. Now nobody got stung. So the Spirit hopped on me while we were having a conversation about building and growing in the faith, being on another level and being ready for Jacob's trouble. It hopped on me to bring out that account of what I experienced with the scriptures, because that definitely was a sign. I believe through the Spirit that was a sign, man. Because of all the places that wasp could have been at in my house, why was it in between my Bibles? Right? So I Googled this, right? The spiritual meaning and symbolism of wasp. Sometimes when you experience like things like this, it's good to research and figure out, what that means. The Lord gives you symbols. A lot of times he does it a lot in nature. So I looked this up, and this is what it says. Let me scroll down here. All right. It says, originating from totem animals and Native American traditions, spirit animals share their characteristics with a person to help protect them. All right, read on about it. When a wasp enters your life. Seeing a wasp is a sign that everything happens for a reason and that this will help you get to your goals faster. Now remember, my first time seeing this wasp was wedged within my scriptures, and it was when I first found out I was an Israelite. And before I could even open up the Bible, the brand new Apocrypha, the 18 books that I got back that was included a part of the Bible, what flew out of it? A giant wasp, man. And this sign says happens for a reason to help you get to the goals fast, but it gets better. It says some cultures believe a wasp is the symbol of control over your life circumstances and signifies evolution, progress, development, and order. And that's exactly what's in the Bible. Development and order. You have the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? It says if you see a wasp, it means you need to stop wishing on your dreams and start acting on them. And at the time, I was having a calling for me to teach the word. I didn't understand that I was going to be one day teaching, but I was first learning about being an Israelite, learning about the truth of the scriptures. And it says this is a good time to reflect and see if what you do has a meaning. So that was highly spiritual that wasp was on the scriptures like that, man. Okay, fast forward to what happened basically today while we're out meeting the Akim. The conversation was purely talking about growing spiritually, reaching your goals, elevating, getting ready to receive the ability to perform miracles like the Lord promised we would be able to do, being stronger within the brotherhood, and accepting leadership, learning from one another. All the conversations we were having, all of a sudden, all these wasps came out of nowhere, man. I'll say, what is a wasp meaning as a spiritual animal? It says involvement, order, development, teamwork. We were talking about teamwork. We were talking about developing each other, building. It says challenge, communication, efficiency, fertility, intelligence. Because they are born in the spring, they symbolize new beginnings. And we were talking about how the kingdom of heaven is going to be newly established on earth. And we're going to be the future kings. The prophets or the 144,000 are the ones that's going to be set up for that. This is all the conversations we were having before the wasp came out. And in the midst of the conversation getting deep, we started experiencing this. The swarm of wasps came, and they didn't attack us, but they were just getting everywhere, man. And then it made me remember what happened with the account I was telling you about with the scriptures of the wasp being inside my Bible. So now I understand why I had that happen, what that interaction was for. Okay, going on further, it says they are good omens for strengthening connections with family and encourage you to make the first move. Wasps bring in clarity. Wasps bring in clarity when you are seeking guidance from those who are older. And that's exactly what we are to each other. The brothers that teach, we teach each other. This is why we have elders, And the elder of our group, brother said, hey, he said, I learned from you brothers. And we all learn from each other, man. So I got a few scriptures that kind of go into a little bit further. The first one I'm bringing out is Proverbs 6:6. And it just kind of goes into to set the tone of sometimes understanding nature to give you answers. Proverbs 6:6, it says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Why? Because ants are extremely smart. They're intelligent. They know how to build, all types of things. They know how to hunt and help the colony. They have all that network of tunnels. They communicate. All types of stuff, man. It says, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gather her food in the harvest. Right, they actually plan out for seasons. During all summer, they spent, getting food, and they store it up. Okay? So this is just one example of sometimes how you can apply interactions with nature and wisdom to the scriptures. Now, going on to the more spiritual conversation of the point of the message behind seeing the wasp and what we were talking about, we had a few scriptures that come to mind. Okay. Let's go ahead. The book of Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So the Lord already handpicked and chose us before, we were even born. Why? Because there's this thing called reincarnation. We come back, all these centuries and years we've been back over and over again. And bro brought out edification on a biblical timeline and how certain, key people in the scriptures lived at certain times and then lived at the same time and came back and did the exact same things over the decades and centuries. And us prophets, we're no different. We're no different, man. This is 1 Corinthians 12:8 says, for to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another divers kinds of tongues, to another interpretation of tongues. And this is definitely one of the topics we were talking about. How some brothers have certain amounts of wisdom more than another brother, and another brother learns from it. And if you're a leader of a camp or organization, you can't beat yourself down if one brother brought out something of a breakdown that you may not have known. No. It's some brothers are given certain talents and an understanding of aspects without the scriptures more than another. But we all work together as one body, like a colony of wasps works, to get everything accomplished. So just a lot of spiritual stuff, man. A lot of spiritual stuff. This is book of Zechariah 13:9. It says, I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my God. The reason why I'm bringing this out, because that the lady gave the account of applying this and learning about how silver is refined. And when she was asking him, how do you know if the silver is ready? And he said, we know the silver is ready and perfect when he can see his own reflection. So when you see your own reflection in the image of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because you're trying to walk and do the right things and live like him, then hey, you're refined and you're being made perfect. We're being tested and tried. So we were talking about being built up, right? So the times to come, we're about to go through a lot of struggles. And we're already going through struggles and things right now, but it's building us and it's making us better. Better as men, better fathers, better prophets, better brothers, sisters, all types of things, man. So right now, we're going through a heavy period of being tried. We have to be built up extremely well to withstand all the struggles that's to come with the MOTB, that mark coming out, with the thing that everybody's talking about, the C-19, and trying to refuse that. All this stuff, man, you got to be mentally built up to be able to withstand that. Because if you're weak mentally, then you're not going to make the cut. This is Ephesians 2 and 10. It says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Amashiach Yahweh Shai unto good works, which Yahweh hath before ordained that we should walk in them." So the Lord already predestined us to do what we're doing right now. Because what else does it that compels us to continue to go out every single weekend? Do shows every day of the week, studying all the time. We're righteously possessed by an angelic spirit to do what we do. You have some people that get possessed demonically to do wickedness, but we get possessed righteously to do righteousness. It takes a heavy mind to continue to do, this work consistently all these years, man, and don't miss a beat. So we're definitely being built up, and seeing all those wasps as while talking about all these things, and then going into the symbolism of what these represent. It kind of shit brothers chills when I was bringing this article out, because I wish some of you brothers that's tuning in could hear the conversation we were having, and this information came out right on time, because the spirit hopped on me. The thought entered my mind, all right, there's a reason why you guys are seeing all these damn wasps and they're annoying you. It's not just because you have a little bit of food out. It's bigger than that, because yellow jackets and wasps, if you swat them or you hit them, they get aggressive and they sting you. None of us got stung. Bro, they were everywhere. And the topics we were speaking on, we were speaking about progress, development, order, growing in the spirit, accepting your purpose. And these are all what wasps symbolize. So what are the chances of that? What are the chances? That was like a small little miracle what we just witnessed, man. So hey, Lord's will, this is edifying. Just wanted to speak on that and elaborate on it a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, that taught us truth and will well, and citation, hopefully, like pushing this truth and honesty and sincerity. Shalom.